Lil People, Big World. Is Caryn Chandler's ego out of control? Is she the reason why Zach and Tori are leaving the show? Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. For latest news update, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. Caryn Chandler's ego is getting out of control, and she may be part of the reason that Zach and Tori Roloff are leaving Little People, Big World. Caryn is the fiancée of Matt Roloff, the patriarch of the Roloff family. He started the reality series married to Amy Roloff, but they split when she thought Matt was having an affair with Caryn. Notably, she was a longtime employee of the Roloff farms, managing the pumpkin patch before becoming Matt's assistant. Amy and Matt's divorce devastated the family, changing the course of their lives and the show forever. Since Matt split from Amy, Caryn has had a more prominent presence on Little People, Big World. She rallies behind her man in all situations, despite pushback. Caryn has navigated her relationship with Amy on the show, which has been difficult to watch at times. She and Matt have been heartless towards Amy and the rest of the Roloffs in Little People, Big World. Since they began dating, Caryn has influenced Matt's decisions. Despite some conflict, they got engaged on the show and are planning on spending the rest of their lives together. Did Caryn Chandler influence Matt Roloff to list part of the farm for sale? Caryn may have influenced Matt's decision to list part of the farm. He acquired the farm in 1990, and it was always expected that his eldest child, Zach, would take over when the time came. Throughout his life, Zach had been looking forward to taking on the responsibility. However, Matt shocked his entire family when he listed 16 acres of the market without telling anyone beforehand. Zach was hurt by Matt's decision, and their relationship has suffered since. However, the idea of selling the farms might have been pushed by his partner, Caryn. Caryn said that she did not want to take on the huge responsibility of managing the Roloff farms. As a former manager of the pumpkin patch, she knows how demanding the farm is. Whether she urged Matt to sell the farm or not, her unwillingness to take on the job seeped into his subconscious. Instead of thinking about the rest of the Roloff family, Caryn was selfish and chose to look out for what would be best for herself. Matt's ego is out of control, and Caryn has contributed to this. During Little People, Big World Season 25, they started building a new home. By selling part of the farm, Caryn most likely knew that they would get a lot of money. They would be able to bring home a big profit to fund the building of the home. Aside from the money Matt has accumulated via reality TV, selling land brings home an even bigger payday. Caryn had her own selfish agenda when telling Matt she didn't want to take over the Roloff farms. Is Caryn Chandler cashing in on her relationship? Caryn has benefited monetarily in her relationship with Matt. He has starred in 25 seasons of Little People, Big World, and is a notable reality personality. Matt had made money from the show, and Caryn saw him build that source of income while she was working for him. She may have saw him out from the beginning for his money. Before she swooned Matt, Caryn was in the process of leaving her marriage of nearly 20 years. After he divorced Amy, Matt's children thought it was odd that he was dating one of his employees. Before they confirmed their relationship, Caryn wasn't just any employee, she was Matt's assistant. She may have had intel on his financial status. Caryn may be using Matt to acquire the nicer things in life. One of the red flags in their relationship was when Caryn got a new home. The home notably lacked accessibility for Matt. The house was 2 stories, and the primary bedroom was up the stairs. Matt didn't try to go up the stairs because he didn't want to get hurt, so he slept downstairs while Caryn slept upstairs. This led to them sleeping in separate rooms, which is never good for a relationship. In Little People, Big World Season 25, Matt began building a new home. Caryn stressed the notion that it was Matt's house she was cohabitating in. Despite this, she had demands for the way that she wanted to design elements of the house. Caryn can get whatever she wants from Matt, including a fancy new house. Caryn Chandler could be a clout chaser. Caryn may be seeking a level of clout in her relationship with Matt. As one of his employees, she was able to watch Matt's rise to acclaim with the success of Little People, Big World. When he started having issues with his marriage, Caryn likely sniffed this out and wanted to be there for the reality star. A relationship with the star of Little People, Big World promised Caryn a level of reality TV fame that she hadn't experienced before. Since they began their relationship, she's been very involved in his storylines on the show. She likes to show off their relationship on social media. On Instagram, Caryn posts pictures with Matt and promotions for Little People, Big World. In one post, Caryn posted a picture with Matt, writing in the caption, "Are ya ready?" New season begins March 31st. Don't miss it. #Boo. She was excited about the new season, even urging fans to tune in to watch. Caryn had to know that their relationship would spark controversy after Amy revealed they may have had an affair. She knew that she would acquire clout from being with Matt. Caryn Chandler is pushing the Roloff kids away. Matt has been feuding with his kids since he started his relationship with Caryn. After Matt chose to list the farms, Zach and Tori decided to move away to Battleground, Washington to focus on their children. Since they moved away, Matt has kept in touch with Zach and Tori to continue his relationship with his grandchildren. However, things between him and his son hadn't been the best. After they got engaged in Little People, Big World Season 25, Zach didn't react to their engagement. In fact, he refused to talk about their engagement with the producers during a confessional moment, Access Hollywood. When a producer asked him what he thought about the news of their engagement, he said, "I don't want to talk about it." The Little People, Big World star was visibly uncomfortable with the question, and his vibe in the interview sulked afterward. Zach's reaction when asked about Matt and Caryn's engagement was heartbreaking. It was hard for him to come to terms with their relationship in the first place. Zach does not need negative energy in his life anymore, and he wants to focus on his wife and family now. Caryn's ego has gotten out of control since appearing in Little People, Big World. Before dating Matt, she had to know how much press his divorce with Amy and their new partnership would garner. She's influenced his decisions throughout the years, which has fractured his relationships with his children in the process. Little People, Big World. What is the status of Zach Roloff's relationship with Matt Roloff? Little People, Big World star Zach Roloff provided an update on his relationship with his father, Matt Roloff. The breakdown between Matt and Zach played out on the show over the past few seasons, as they failed to resolve their disagreement over the family property. Zach and his wife, Tori Roloff, have announced they will no longer be appearing on the show, and it seems maybe for the best. In a recent episode of his and Tori's podcast, Zach addressed the state of his relationship with his father. Menu. Little People, Big World. What is the status of Zach Roloff's relationship with Matt Roloff? Little People, Big World. Zach and Matt Roloff's relationship deteriorated because Matt listed part of Roloff Farms for sale, rather than selling it to his son. In a podcast episode, Zach admitted that his relationship with his father is non-existent. Zach and Tori are focusing on their own family and setting boundaries. They're avoiding troubled relationships. Little People, Big World star Zach Roloff provided an update on his relationship with his father, Matt Roloff. The breakdown between Matt and Zach played out on the show over the past few seasons, as they failed to resolve their disagreement over the family property. Zach and his wife, Tori Roloff, have announced they will no longer be appearing on the show, and it seems maybe for the best. In a recent episode of his and Tori's podcast, Zach addressed the state of his relationship with his father. Little People, Big World has followed the Roloff family for 25 seasons. The Roloffs own a pumpkin farm in Oregon where most of the family is employed. Zach's 3 siblings stopped appearing on the show as they grew up and started their own families, leaving the spotlight on Zach and Tori. The complex dynamics of working on the farm together while also filming a reality show may have proved too much for Zach and Matt. Their relationship crumbled over business matters, with each side refusing to accept any blame. Zach and Matt previously had a close relationship, as shown on Little People, Big World. They spent a lot of time together working on the family's pumpkin farm, where Zach hosted personal tours of the property. However, a divide emerged within the family when Matt decided to sell the Roloff family farmhouse. Matt had retained the property after his divorce from Zach's mother, Amy Roloff. Matt divided the property and lived in a small double-wide, listing the large house for sale. All members of the Roloff family acknowledged the sentimental value of keeping the house within the family. But when Zach made an offer, Matt refused to budge on the price. The father and son allegedly had some tense discussions, which also included Tori and Matt's fiancée Caryn Chandler. Zach and Tori ultimately gave up on the purchase, and their relationship with Matt was damaged. Matt was never able to find a buyer at his desired price and resorted to listing the home as a short-term rental. Zach and Tori will no longer appear on Little People, Big World, but they are still providing insight into their lives as the parents of 3 young children. They launched their podcast, Raising Heights with Zach and Tori, in early 2024. On their podcast, Zach and Tori discuss parenting, their relationship, and updates about their family. The couple are honest with one another and appear to have a healthy relationship. In the second episode of Raising Heights Season 2, Tori asked Zach questions submitted by listeners. They touched on the history of Zach and Tori's relationship, the status of their house in Battleground, Washington, and their thoughts on parenting. When reflecting on his relationship with his kids, Zach acknowledged that part of growing up is realizing parents are not perfect. Zach revealed his relationship with his father is still non-existent. Zach said his relationship with Matt is not great, and then added that it's not existent. He explained that after filming for Little People, Big World ended, the family took some time apart, allowing them some space to process. But when the show aired, it stirred up hard feelings nearly a year later. He called his father's denial and lack of accountability narcissism. Tori added that she and Zach do not keep their children away from their grandfather. Zach questioned whether there was more he and his family members could have done to reconcile. It's refreshing to hear him acknowledge that the blame might not be completely on his father. Tori refuted this, saying she thought Zach had tried his best. Zach tends to be too forgiving and must create boundaries with his family. Tori is often criticized for instigating the family divide, but she finds it necessary to encourage Zach to cut off toxic relationships because he can be too passive. As their time on Little People, Big World Season 25 comes to an end, it doesn't sound like Zach and Tori plan to reunite with Matt anytime soon. Once they're no longer forced to relive their disagreements on air, perhaps Zach and Matt will find the space they need to leave the past behind. For now, Zach is standing firm with the boundary he has created, even if it means he no longer has a relationship with